We're out on some state forest, and there's an abandoned road that we're trying to find, and there's a possum. They're usually not that scared of people, but they are known for having rabies. Anyway, I've never been out here, and I don't know. All I know is that this trail leads to the road. So hopefully we can find it. Well, we've been walking for a while on that road, and we finally hit water. This is actually a big reservoir. It's not very hot out today, even though it's summer. There's a lot of people out boating today, but it looks pretty good. There's more of the water. It's kept up. This road is kept up pretty well until you get to the end where it's pretty grown up. I don't think they really take care of it anymore. I haven't really been able to figure out what the road is for. There's probably a lot of wind, but I thought maybe it was like an old campground or something, but there's no campsite, so I don't know what it was for. And there's definitely not like a boat access ramp into the lake, because this is actually up on a big cliff, so I don't know. It's been about 20 minutes and we're at the beginning, and you can see there the road's blocked off, but there's a second road here that I'm going to take to see where it goes. This one doesn't seem to be kept up as good, so hopefully we don't end up in the water or something. It's kind of interesting. I've been out here for about close to an hour. I went to a different area before that road, and I have not seen a single person out here, which I guess is a good thing. Because when you're out here by yourself, especially in an area that you're really not supposed to be in, you don't really want to run into certain types of people, because you never know what they're going to do. So this is what ends up happening at the halfway through the second road. There's a tree. Not that I can't walk over it easily, but the way that it looks on down, I think it's pretty grown up down there, so I'm not going to bother. Really, the last road, there wasn't much down there except the end of the road, which ended at a cliff into the lake. There is another road if we go down the original trail, which it's not a road, it's just a abandoned campground. So I am going to go down there. So, until then, we'll be right back. After about 20 minutes getting back, we're now on the abandoned campground. So we're going to walk through and see what's out here. I don't really know any history from this place other than, yeah, I know it used to be a campground. And when you get through here, you can see some of the campsites. But other than that, I don't really know anything about it. I know it's been closed for a long time. So about 1 minute in, we end up with this. The road continues behind it, but I'm not going over there. I'm not going through all that. They must have had a storm out here or something. That's okay, there's 2 other ways that you can go, and we'll just go the other way. I thought this was kind of interesting. It looks like some beavers or some kind of an animal tore all that bark off. Hope it wasn't like a bear or something. It's just really nice out here. There's no one out here. Kind of hoping this wasn't a bad idea coming here today, because it looks like it could definitely start raining at any time. I'm about maybe a mile from the car. But it's July something, I don't know, like 28th or something. That's interesting. I don't know what that is. It's a big concrete something. Let's go see. Trying not to touch any kind of plants because I don't want to get poison ivy or anything. I don't know what this is. I'm kind of guessing that it's maybe like an old pit toilet. That's gross. Some odd symbols in there. This, like I said, this is a state forest, and I know that this forest, and then there's another one not real far from here that used to have some satanic activity going on. Oh, that leaf, as soon as I said that leaf, or that plant, just dipped down and pointed at me. But yeah, there were some Satanists. I'm hearing a lot of weird noises over there. I don't know if the camera picked that up, but it sounded like a dinosaur. God. But there were some Satanists that would go out and do their thing and kill like goats and pigs and all kinds of animals. And that's not at this one, but I know that at that other forest they did that. And since all this area is pretty much closed off, I mean, when it gets dark, anybody can come out here and do whatever they want, and nobody would really know, because it doesn't really get patrolled or anything anymore. We're getting back close to the lake again, or the reservoir, because you can hear boats. If you go this way, this goes around to where that tree was, where we had to turn around. I'm not sure where this ends up. I'm not sure if I want to keep going too far because of the weather. Anyway, it's July 28th, I think, on a Sunday. and the weather has been so really nice, because typically this time of year, like July going to August, it's usually in the 90s or hundreds even, and hot and humid. But today it's like in the low 70s. I'm surprised there's really anybody out on their boats or anything, because it's not really boating weather today. It's the coolest weather I've ever seen in this time of year, because typically it is really hot. But starting next week it's supposed to get back into the 80s, 90s, so this is kind of a nice break, and it has been in the 90s. Yeah, the lake is over here. I'll try not to get bitten by a snake or something, because we have pretty big snakes around here, especially around water. We have like cottonmouth snakes that are poisonous, I think. I don't know. Interesting tree. Yeah, underneath. And this is the reservoir that we were at on the other side, on that other road. Pretty high up. There's a boat. It's like a party boat. And if you go down there, there's a big bridge. It's not a bad day, just kind of unpredictable. Thought this area was kind of nice. It's the same lake, but then it goes into like this little cove. I don't know how far back that goes down there. Alright, so try to get back. Typically you'd see like ski boats, big pontoons going by like every 5 seconds on this lake, but I guess it's not really a lake, it's more of just a reservoir, because it's all like man-made, because it actually goes, there's like several dams that keep all the water back, that form all the reservoirs. And this reservoir actually, when it was built, it actually flooded a town. I don't know when, I would say probably like in the 20s or something, I don't know. And what happened is they evacuated the town, and then when they created it, the dam and the reservoir, the water just covered up the entire town. So there's actually a town underneath the reservoir out there. And last year we had a really bad drought, and the level of the reservoir was so low that that town actually was uncovered, and people could actually walk out there for the first time in decades, and you could see like remnants of buildings, and people were finding like dishes and stuff like that were left behind. That was pretty interesting. And it always reminds me of that movie starring Robert Downey Jr. called In Dreams, because that's kind of what it's based on, where the town was flooded by a reservoir. but the kid was left behind in the house, and then he ended up being like a killer. Pretty good movie. Whenever I think of that, I always think of that town that actually is under this reservoir. Alright, we're back at a junction, still in the campground. I think they both lead to the same area where my car is. As far as like I said before, I don't know why this was closed, but like all this area would have been where campsites were. And this would have been a primitive campground, which basically just means no electricity or water. I don't know. Well, maybe it just means no electricity. I don't know. But that cement thing that we found earlier, I'm pretty sure that was like one of those nasty campground pit toilets. Basically like an outhouse, which typically is an indication that it would have been a primitive campground, because like the modern campgrounds with electricity and everything, they usually have like modern bathrooms and showers. But I will post something in the video on the screen about as far as where this is, if anyone else wants to come out here and maybe give more information, because I really don't know much. And I actually don't live around here. I live a couple counties away. I live in Allen County. I believe this is in Huntington County, Indiana. But there's something. I don't know what all that's all cement. It's like a bridge or something. But it's an interesting place, and I should mention across the road, like maybe a mile down the road, there is a modern campground that is still being used, and there's a lot of people over there with and that's where like the beach is, and there's like a boat marina called Pirates Cove. And it's a big place. I've actually went there when I was really little. We went camping out there one time. I don't know how the wind is on this camera. I haven't really used this camera much, but yeah, it was a pretty cool place out here. It's definitely worth looking at. It's nice to come out here. There's nobody here. Not anyone that I've seen. When I was driving out here, I saw a couple cars drive by, but that's about it. Nobody has been in this area that I was in. And I thought this would have been where my car was, but we're not even close. That's kind of cool. I don't know if you can see on the camera, there's a big like sunflower area over there. Like thousands of sunflowers. Alright, so I don't know where I am. I think that goes back to where we just were. I guess we go this way. So far it hasn't rained. That's a good thing. I didn't want to be stuck out here. Here's more of those sunflowers. I just heard someone over there. Hopefully they're not walking through here, but it's alright because we're on our way out. shut down might be because people, ew, there has been some kind of animals out here. But anyway, I'm guessing the main reason people don't, or the reason it shut down is because people probably prefer to be in a campground with electricity and water and all that, which I don't blame them. Especially if you know, most people now that go camping have like a trailer or campers, RV, and you know, what's the use of having all those if you can't use the water and the electricity? So it makes sense, because I don't think anyone really camps at a campground in a tent anymore. Alright, so we're back at the car, finally. Get out of here before it starts raining. So yeah, this was a good video, I thought. I hope. I don't know. I hope everyone enjoyed it, and hope to do more in the future. There's an overview of where we just were. I've seen reports that there are some bald eagles out here too, but I haven't really seen anything. Alright, so I'll talk to everybody later.